For the final time in season 2024, we're back with the snapshot. We've still only got the one multi up, Rocky. We're searching for a big one on grand final day. We'll get to that in a sec. We've got a few questions for you, though, for the Lions and Swans matchup. Let's start in the ruck. Oscar McInerney hurt. Darcy Fort likely to come back into the side, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's ready-made. He's been an emergency nearly every week for the year, I think, and he used to play as sub even a couple of times. So he'd be probably playing senior footy at most other clubs, I would have thought. So he gets an opportunity. That could be one of the great stories if Brisbane are to get up, him going into the ruck. But obviously Oscar, the sad story out of it as well. But they're going to have their work cut out. Brodie Grundy's he's back to his best, I think. So he was superb the week before. So it's going to be a big challenge for the Lions in that ruck department.
Any chance of see Joey Danaher thrown in there again, or they're definitely just going to keep him up forward?
No, I think so. I think he provides a different element, an element of surprise. Sometimes he jumps, sometimes he doesn't. And if they're not getting on top, then it's something to go to that he can potentially throw the opposition midfielders out. And Sydney, they're going to need to try different tricks around the Swans. Their midfield's elite. As we've seen again, Brownlow Knight, they had 3 right up there and I think in the top 10 in the end. So their ground level players are outstanding. So I'd imagine at some point Danaher will probably venture through there, whether it's a pinch hit. But I'd imagine Fort will be the number ones there.
With that in mind, who are you steering the punters into in terms of goal kicking? Because Brisbane's obviously got a lot of small forwards they can rely on. And if Danaher is spending that time in the ruck, we only saw this last week against Geelong. Rayner, who you like?
Yeah, I think it'll be an even spread for Brisbane. I think they'll all bob up and kick a couple each. I think Bailey, Cameron, Rayner, Archie, Hipwood, Danaher, Lohman, they've got options galore in that front half. So I think it's exciting. I don't think anyone will kick a big bag. I think maybe 3 or 4 goals will be the most we'll see on the day, but I think it'll be an even spread from the Lions if they are to win.
We rewind to round 19 when these two sides last met, just around 2 months ago. Isaac Heaney was very quiet. We've got to keep in mind Rampy was out and Papley was out in the second half, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Who do you think draws the Heaney assignment, first of all?
Dunkley. Yeah.
And who do you think is going to play a bigger role for Brisbane? Because I know you tweeted out about Ryan Lester after the Cats game and he was outstanding. And I thought Starcevic was really good as well. Do you think if those two guys are on, it's going to be very hard for the Swans to score?
Yeah, it will be. We spoke about Payne in the first segment as well. You weren't here, but he grabbed his knee late in that game with about a minute to go. So he's a big watch heading towards the team selection, whether he gets up and plays. If he doesn't play, then Lester's going to have to play tall. It's going to be an intriguing battle down there. Does Luke Parker, I think he'll go to Harris Andrews. I think we've seen Billy Frampton play that role last year. We've seen Parker on the weekend do it to Aliir. Aliir sort of impacted it. Aliir was really impactful early on in that game. Parker goes to him, draws him away from where he wants to be, bobs up, kicks 1 or 2, looks dangerous in that front half. I think that might be the matchup for Swans.
That would be a fascinating matchup. Looking forward to that. And lastly, Lachie Neale was held to 18 disposals when they last met. Do you think the Swans tag him?
I think he'll get attention. He was best on almost again on the weekend in the prelim. I think he got most of the coaches' votes. He needs attention. You can't let him run around and have 35 plus. If he does that, the Lions will win. But going back to that game, they were probably lucky to win that, the Lions. Sydney probably would feel like they matched them really well. I think they were down to 1 or 2 on the bench. Really hot day up here. So it's going to be a ripping contest. Hearts leaning towards Brisbane. I think they'll get it done but it's going to be a real battle, I think. It's going to be looking forward to it. McCluggage
kicked 3 goals on that day too. So if you take Neale out of it, the game's far from over. Let's get into the total points. We're getting 170.5 combined total. The over is saluted in 7 of the last 11 meetings between these two sides. Just give me a quick tip on this one.
Over.
Norm Smith.
Bailey.
Zach Bailey.
That's
big value.
Yeah.
I like Cam Rayner at $26. He's hot and cold, I know, but if he plays like he did last week.
Same as Bailey. Bailey's hot and cold, but if he fires, he could kick 3 or 4 and $41. Juice.
Very juicy. And lastly, first goal kicker.
Lohman.
Yeah, he's been good too. I'm going with Will Hayward. Let's get into the multi. Give us your final 2 legs of the year, mate.
Final 2 legs of the year. Dane Zorko, 30 plus. I think he'll have a lot of kick-ins and they look for him all the time. I don't think Sydney will put a lot of I don't think they'll do a run with on him. So I think he'll have 30 plus and I'm going to go Papley to kick 3 plus.
This is a big leg. Yeah, I like it. I'm going Rayner 2+ for the reasons I just mentioned. And I think this is a big game for Will Ashcroft. Missed this last year, 25+ disposals for me. So to recap, we've got Papley 3+ goals, Zorko 30+ disposals, Will Ashcroft 25+, and Cam Rayner 2+ goals, $59.84.
That is plenty of juice.
It's one of the biggest ones we've had all year. I don't know why we're that confident, but
Well, it'll give us about 3 years of for play money.
we'll be in the green. All right. Well, it's been a good year, Rocky. Shame we haven't backed more winners, but thanks for joining me.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.